Imagine you were broke and couldn't find where you were going wrong. Soon you identified several habits that made you break and decided to escape the trap. Do you know what's the number one mistake people make that keeps them shackled in financial uncertainty? You might think it's about not earning enough, but surprisingly, it's not. Let's get into it. Have you heard of the term inverse thinking? So let me explain. Inverse thinking is a mental model that will help you solve complex problems and make better decisions. A famous comment from Charlie Munger, Warren Buffett's business partner and vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, is, "All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there." And according to him, inversion thinking can be applied in finance, which will help us uncover the hidden beliefs of a problem we are trying to solve. That's right, because understanding the pitfalls is as important as knowing the paths to success. So let's dive into the journey of finance. Wise spending is a matter of concern more than ever due to rising prices and growing macroeconomic concerns. Have you ever had the feeling of saving more money at the start of the month but spending more than that? However, the problem arises due to a short-term thinking approach. Spending money for most people can be a source of instant gratification, as spending money will give a dopamine rush to our brains. But before we know it, we might have spent all the money. Overspending can occur due to wrong estimation of our income, expenses, and debt payments. Imagine we are on a weekend and spending valuable time with our loved ones. There is a huge chance for impulsive spending as we are in a festive mood. But don't worry, you need not do much to control the expenses. So how can we control overspending? The first approach is to know the triggers that make you overspend. Do you ever buy stuff from a shopping mall besides that on your list? Certain environments force you to spend more just because you were there. So always make a list before entering such environments and stick with the same. Do you know that our mood is important in our spending habits? Anxiety and stress can lead to impulsive buying, so try to hit a gym instead to avoid the same. The very next reason is not having a proper plan before spending. If we are not ready to keep track of our income and expenses, then chances are high that we will end up in a rat race. A budget can be customized according to our requirements, including 20% for our needs, 30% for savings, and 50% for our monthly necessities. Finally, we should practice delayed gratification. Pleasurable things in the short run can lead to suffering in the long run. For instance, having your favorite car in your early 20s might be satisfying today, but consider the situation if the car was bought for an EMI in the long run. Hence, the car might become a debt burden a few months from now. Hence, non-essential items need to be delayed. And always remember that delayed gratification is worth trying. It is more practical to swipe a credit card than to count out a stack of cash. The problem with credit cards is how simple it is to spend more money than you have. The average monthly cost of living is generally unknown to many people, and when you shop online, it's easy to have your credit card information saved on your profile, which makes it easier to make impulse buys. Although a credit card is an excellent financial tool, its high interest rates could lead to debt traps if improperly utilized. Thus, you might consider setting monthly spending caps on your cards to prevent excessive use of credit cards, which will prevent you from exceeding a set monthly spending cap, making it simpler to restrain your wants from overspending. Have you heard of a second mortgage? It is a subordinate mortgage made while the original mortgage is still in effect. In the event of default, the initial mortgage would be fully paid using the property sales revenues. The interest rate charged for the second mortgage typically is greater, and the amount borrowed will be less than that of the first mortgage, because it would only be repaid after the first mortgage has been paid off. However, second mortgages include inherent risks and fees, but they can help you increase the value of your property by using it as security for a loan. It would help if you accumulated sizable home equity and, according to most lenders, should have a credit score between 680 and 700 to be eligible for a second mortgage. Before scheduling an appraisal of your house and a second loan choice, they will also consider your income and obligations. Both home equity loans and home equity lines of credit, HELOCs, provide access to an ongoing source of credit that allows for draws against it whenever needed, with interest charged solely to any unused sections, which gives you two options for second mortgages to fulfill different needs. Most people depend on a full-time job as their primary source of income. Is it necessary to have an income from a full-time job until retirement? Maybe. This mindset is pulling you back in your financial journey. Moreover, it is very sad to see young minds in their 20s and 30s working on jobs they don't like and cannot do anything for the same. So what made them stay? It is the fear of not having money to pay the bills. You can find a job you love as you have the flexibility from financial constraints to leave your current work. It allows you to change jobs and careers without worrying about your ability to pay for it. Many investors associate successful investing with American business magnate Warren Buffett. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving, is one of Warren Buffett's most well-known sayings about personal finance. Most people find creating and sticking to a budget challenging, since the procedure is time-consuming and constrained. Making decisions solely based on a spreadsheet is required for traditional budgeting. Concentrating on savings through a method people refer to as reverse budgeting, rather than on expenses, is best. So how does it work? Simply calculate how much you need to save, set up automatic savings, and then spend the remaining funds using reverse budgeting. If you have already spent your allotted amount on dining out, but an emergency arises that forces you to eat out, you can reallocate your spending to better reflect your priorities and values. Do you know what prevents people from investing their money? According to a research paper titled, "What Matters to Individual Investors?" a survey was conducted. According to the survey, 13 people better understand various perceptions than an average person who had invested $0 in the stock market. So when asked about the reason for their zero investments, they replied that they don't have enough wealth to invest in stocks. However, the main reason is that people are not ready to start small when it comes to investing. Many online brokerages provide free index fund purchases, so they won't charge you a commission to complete the transaction. Hence, you may purchase the entire stock market for nearly nothing using index funds. Another misconception is that they don't have enough money to invest. Here comes the rule of compounding. If a person wishes to have a retirement fund, he can invest a small amount monthly in an equity mutual fund or a debt fund, which can give returns that beats inflation. If this money is allowed to stay invested for 30 years, the person might get his retirement fund ready. One of the main reasons people stay away from investing is the fear of losing money. So why don't people learn to invest before their first investment? However, the fundamental concepts of investing are not often taught in schools, so many people grow up without a basic understanding of investing. Furthermore, the investing world with myriad terms and concepts can seem complex and intimidating. People may feel overwhelmed and thus avoid learning about it. Another factor is not being able to accept the risk associated with the market, and learning about investing requires a lot of time and dedication. Moreover, another myth is that investing is only meant for rich people, and hence needs a large sum of money to start. Realistic self-evaluation enables us to make wiser decisions in our lives. It is possible to develop the ability to evaluate advice after listening to it. We may be inundated with suggestions in our daily lives. Therefore, it's critical to know how to evaluate the data. Further, not hiring financial advisors and experienced professionals to take advice will be something that might pull you back in the financial journey. Feel free to spend money to learn from them. You will be shocked by seeing the returns they could provide. And as we wrap up, here's a question to ponder. What steps are you taking today to avoid these pitfalls? Drop your responses in the comments below. Next time, we'll dive into the most effective strategies to reach financial freedom. Are there shortcuts? Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep striving for financial success. Remember, the journey to financial freedom is not about avoiding risks, but making informed decisions. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content. Let's all strive toward financial freedom together.